heard was that Jimmy Dorsey was in the audience. So I went over to meet him, and he said, "How do you do?" And I sat down for a minute. He said, "Can you read music?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, well, I guess that doesn't matter." You know, Jimmy's always very shy like this.
I really don't think about how a part's going to do for my career. It's how I can do for the part, and so I really hadn't really given it much thought concerning if it was a good career move.
Well, Lita, first we use larger than normal contact lenses, and they're painted white with a green ring around the outside. And my prescription is in the little center black dot.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years. It's kind of hard to believe sometimes. I started training with my dad really as soon as I could walk. I mean,
oh yes, in the last 3 weeks the last 2 weeks it has become an emergency for us. Well, there's an awful lot of illegals coming in. By the hundred, by the thousands, our people are not only...
They're the ones that are making the law. We say equal protection means equal protection. We say the First Amendment means no. It uses the word no, and no means no.
That's just the way it goes sometimes. We had some troubles, and we're trying to work our way back up there, just trying to run a smart race, and ran over something in turn 3 earlier in the race. And we...
I never married. I thought my mother was the perfect of human being I'd ever met in the world. I still think so. And she didn't make a success. What chance had I?
Conway Twitty?
No, that's a stage name. I got that name from the map of the United States back in 1957. Real name's Harold.
I mean, what particular, well, I think probably I have been in it a while. You know, I consider that I like to say that I was in it before New Hampshire.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I think both you and I can have a little bit of a chuckle if we take this next song in the spirit in which it's intended.
Maybe they just shouldn't exist because it's the culture and the beautiful things that a society produces. Those are the things that should survive for thousands of years.
Wonderful family, really a wonderful family. We were very musical, very artistic, and they were wonderful people, and we enjoyed everything. And my mother sent us all into the kitchen to learn how to cook, and they'd go off on trips to Europe, and they'd come back, and they'd bring recipes, and we'd try them out. And
I mean, I had you right there, you're like this, I'm like, and that's how you throw Dumpy in. Dumpy in the invitations to dine at the Wildflower Inn.
But I'll tell you what happens from here on out, it isn't my fault. It isn't Kevin's fault. It isn't Mike's fault. It's your fault. And I'm not going to pull the horses back either. And we're going full speed on you, Brian.
After her father died, she got to have some lessons, but they didn't start right away because there was no money to pay for them.
Time and one now in Louisville who used to play and coach here in Westwood. Denny Crum, a former protege of John Wooden, and it's our honor to have the coach with us here this afternoon. Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us. And
yes, I have, but they're always exciting, and the one that started in New Hampshire couldn't have been more so. I think even the local people were surprised at the enthusiasm and the size of the crowds and the...
They can do it in any language, such as once I was in Japan, and we had a phrase, we had one phrase that the guys played it, and I didn't like the way they played it.
When we first got this movie, we were like, okay guys, we're making history here, man. And when, you know, this is one thing we really always, we were all excited about doing. We, you know, all the brothers are pretty much actors, you know what I mean, and dancers. And when we go in the studio rehearse,